Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Location-Based Marketing. On today's show, Disney reimagines the simple cake with augmented reality. It's so cool. God, I wish I was young. eBay gets all grown up and stuff. Plus, our resource of the week, our funding news, and Joe Walker, founder of Ozmott, sits down with Asif for a good chat. All this, plus a whole bunch more coming up right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Location-Based Marketing. This is episode number 99. We're recording this live between Asif and myself on Sunday, October 14th, late at night. My name, of course, Rob Woodbridge from Untethered.tv, doing this live from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and with me, as always, my partner in crime,
Asif Khan from the Location-Based Marketing Association, and again, you can find us at the LBMA on the .com or the Twitter.
Yes, welcome, Asif, episode number 99. Jam-packed, man. You know, this was not a restful weekend for either of us, but still, kicking back. I watched my Yankees suffer their second defeat, lost Derek Jeter in the 12th inning of last night's game, and then got destroyed tonight. I'm a little downtrodden, a little bit disenchanted, disheartened, so I might be a little feisty for a change in this episode. Be ready.
For a change? Okay, all right.
Be ready.
I'm ready.
So listen, you spent the weekend in Hamilton, didn't you?
I did.
Your Business is Now conference.
What should be just down the road from Toronto. Unfortunately, left in the height of rush hour to get there, and took 3 hours. But anyhow, got there. Great event this weekend, Friday nights and all day yesterday. Your Business is Now is the name of the conference. A gathering of some of the movers and shakers, small business owners, independents, that are doing a lot of things, trying to put Hamilton on the map, actually, as far as mobile and location-based stuff. You know, there's actually some really cool startups. There's a company, Hamilton, apparently, this was news to me, not being from there, has their own version of Dragon's Den called Lion's Den. And one of the winners, or one of the companies who won some money off of the show, is a new location-based startup company called Nearvoo. And so I met those guys, and looking forward to getting more acquainted with them, and maybe we'll see them on the show one of these days. So,
Nearvoo.
There you go.
Like a good English-French combination right there. Nearvoo. I like it. Nearvoo. So a lot of small businesses there, and you were, as you said, the location-based portion of this. How did it go over?
It went very well. I mean, a very enthusiastic audience, hungry for information. We talked location. We had Amber MacArthur there talking about, mobile and social stuff. We had, SEO discussions. We were talking about all sorts of things around how to help these businesses kind of, leverage the latest and greatest of what's going on out there. So, a very receptive audience. So I was happy to be part of it.
Did you help them?
Of course.
No. Of course. I have to ask that question. Anyhow. All right. So, and that was this. And you've got some location-based marketing association events that are coming up. Two of them, one in Toronto, one in New York. Yeah, that's a big slip there. One in New York and one in Montreal. What are these? I'm interested in the one in New York on augmented reality. But what's the one in Montreal?
Yes, so the Montreal event, it's October the 24th, so just around the corner. And basically, we're looking at, how to apply location-based marketing strategies for the holidays. So if you're a retailer, you're a brand, you're thinking about the Christmas season just around the corner, what are some of the things that you could be doing to kind of optimize, your business and leverage some of the tools out there. So very focused on sort of, the holidays and how to take advantage of that. So that's the event there. And then the other event that you're alluding to, November the 27th in New York on augmented reality. The keynote speaker is Vivian Rosenthal, who's the founder of Gold Run, phenomenal company doing lots of work with H&M and Airwalk and Kool-Aid and all kinds of great companies. So so I think both are going to be great events. We have other events as well. I'm skipping over. We're doing the official launch of the LBMA in Singapore, November the 5th. So I'll be over there for that. Really looking forward to that. We have lots of great activity going on in that market, and we'll be talking about sort of the Asian market a little bit today with some of the stories. And then way off in the distance, another LBMA event in the first week of December is our launch in Atlanta, sponsored by Coke. So it's going to be awesome.
Busy.
Great season ahead.
Holy cow. You know what? The event in Montreal, I'm not really willing to think yet that it is a holiday season, right? I'm not really willing. I'm not physically, mentally, I'm not there yet. I'm not heading towards Christmas, you know?
Yeah, I think as consumers, I definitely don't want to think about it yet. But I know every retailer's on top of it right now. So
yeah, well, I guess they have to be, but I don't want to be a part of it. I just don't. It's like as soon as the Halloween stuff comes down, the Christmas stuff goes up. It's crazy, and I'm not ready for it. But I guess it's inevitable, and that's just because I'm Canadian and in Ottawa, and the winters are always a little bit more difficult every year I age. I should go to somewhere that is dry and warm and hot. Well, it sounds busy.
All right.
So, it just sounds like the show as well. This is another one of these shows where there are some great diversity of stories that you've been able to pull up here. We've got stories from, let's talk about this. Malaysia. We've got New Zealand. We've got some American stories. We've got some interesting funding stories from Japan. We've got a great resource of the week. We got our guest product of the week. It's Joseph Walker, who's the founder of Ozmott. This is a good show, so why don't we get this kicked off?
Absolutely. And as you age, Rob, one of the things that you do, is you have birthday cake, right?
Oh, and you know what?
And potentially this first story we're going to talk about could be part of your future, Rob.
My kids would love this. Their birthday is October 23rd. They are turning 6. If they had this right now, I would race out and buy it. It would probably cost me $10,000. But boy, it's better than a Game Boy, right? Or a Nintendo DS. This is our first story. Disney, what are they doing? They've got a patent around augmented reality on cakes. My God.
You gotta love it.
It's Disney. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Disney's Disney. I mean, they're always trying to push the boundaries and do something a little bit different. And so, yeah, they basically filed a patent on a couple different methods of adding augmented reality and projection kind of technology on top of cakes. So the idea here is one of them, you have this cake topper sitting on top of a cake, and built into that cake topper is a small projector, and basically it can put images on top of that, and then using augmented reality technology, you can see video clips, slideshows of photos being displayed. You can flip with your hand in the air and kind of advance through virtual storybooks. They're talking about accessories being layered on top of this, like you wave some fairy dust on top of the cake with a special accessory magic wand, and all kinds of things will appear above the cake. I love it. I mean, this is like just taking the dream one step further. That magical, wonderful world of Disney.
I am blown away by this, completely blown away. Can you imagine one of the examples that they cited in here is that you can basically watch a tree grow or watch grass grow on top of your cake, and you can paint on this, and it's a canvas, and it tells stories, and you can be interactive with it. I mean, this is something like, why would I even want to eat the cake?
I hear you.
And then they said that it's not only for cake; they can do this on other types of food, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. This would be fanciful and fun, and if they could do it in an affordable way, I am 100% behind this. It changes the experience of the birthday, and really, yeah. I might actually allow my kids to have cake.
Now, you see, where this is really going to work. This is going to work for the wedding cakes, because nobody really wants to eat wedding cake anyways, right? So why not turn it into an experience?
Well, you think about that. An augmented reality. Instead of having the PowerPoint presentations, it's an ongoing augmented reality of your lives together at that point.
And the cake.
That is pretty cool. Well, Disney, gotta hand it to you. Just creating the magic and allowing it to bring it at home. And I can only imagine that one of these huge. I'll pull it up here. One of these huge setups that they were talking about is, if I can find it here, it's like a video projector that descends down from over top, and it tells a great story. And I think that this is one of those, they said in the article that I read that they're going to be keeping that for you know, because it's hooked up to a computer and it's complicated. They're going to be keeping that for maybe Disney theme parks, where you have a birthday at Disney theme parks, and you know, basically your entire cake comes to life and adds to that magic, which is Disney, which is so cool. God. Asif, we are too old for this, but man, I wish I was born now so that we could accept this and we could start using these technologies. You know, when I was 6 or 7, I mean, on my 12th birthday, my grandmother bought me a Snow White cake. So I had a picture, you know, 10 guys, 12 years old, that influential point in your life. You know, it's like burgeoning manhood. You're moving into that stage. It's like your voice is starting to drop, and down comes this cake with your mother and your entire family snickering and laughing hysterically, and you basically in front of your friends, your best buds, opening up a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs cake from your grandmother. It's traumatic. So maybe I would like to do that again without that. So Disney augmented reality cakes.
All right.
Too much information. Our second story here. This is a story from New Zealand company called Tuhura that they launched, and this is fascinating to me because I love living history, and this is why I think that you and I both love broadcaster and companies like that, where it's basically living history, a story being told while you're walking past it and listening to it. And this is just an extension of that, but for tourism. I like this.
Yeah, I really like this. Again, this is from New Zealand. It's called Tuhura. Tuhura is a Maori word that means discover. So the native Indians there in New Zealand, speak Maori, and that's where the name comes from. A couple things I like about this. I mean, like you, I love these sort of bringing history to life. Bringing the environment around you to life. But what I love about this is not only is it location based, leveraging GPS technology to kind of present relevant content in context. Where you are, it's HTML5 powered. So there's no app in the traditional sense here, that we're used to with Foursquare and things like that. It's driving to HTML5 powered mobile website, serving up cultural, historic video content based on where you are right now. And so that apparently there's over 200 video clips in here already. Lots and lots of great content, and so. They gave the examples that they gave were, you're in Auckland, at the America's Cup, and they present information, around, the history of that location and things to do with that event in the past and so on, and then you're in the Otago region, in the middle of the wilderness, and they're talking to you stuff about the rail trail, which is another thing over there. It's about presenting information in context. When it makes sense, and kind of bringing that world to life. I love it.
Yeah, so do I. And the one that I was just trying to find the example about the very first illegal bungee jump off of the bridge, where you could see the actual footage from that when you're standing on the bridge, and that started the bungee jumping craze. And I think that anytime you can grab that kind of history, or it's I'm so fascinated by the way cities used to look. Right, and how much of the architecture is from those times. So the ability to see video, little 90-second clips of video of how it was 50 years ago or 75 years ago, and pictures, and I think that kind of augments the experience. And boy, oh boy, when you're a history buff and you're trying to really understand the culture of a country or a city. This kind of stuff is really where the power of mobile comes into play, and I love this. And kudos to Tuhura, and maybe we'll start to see this across other cities, major cities, because it would be fascinating to see this inside of New York City, right? And see the history of New York, or even San Francisco. And then when you start to think about developing nations or countries with longer histories than North America, like India, to see the history that unfolds in front of you with this kind of technology. I would love it. I'm not sure how they make money. It's got to come from the tourism board, but I would love that. I would eat that up. And boy, it's living history, because you can use this while you're at the location, or you can use this just as a tour guide, right? You can sit somewhere and just watch all the video clips and get a good understanding of the city and the country. And God, I love that.
What happens when you're jumping from the stratosphere though, like Baumgartner?
That's right. We haven't even talked about that. Yeah.
Hey, Red Bull. What an amazing thing there. I mean, I know that's not part of our agenda
No.
today, but I mean,
But the joke I heard
man,
was, everybody's checked in at 35,000 feet in airplanes, right? But this guy at 127,000 feet in the air, I wonder if he actually, if he was able to check in from the stratosphere.
I think Foursquare missed a big opportunity, don't you?
I do. Well, you know what? It's touch and go, right? Like, you saw, I followed this on Twitter, and I was watching it on my. I was at an event this afternoon, and I was watching on my iPhone as it was happening, and it was one of the coolest things ever. I'm watching a guy jump out of a hot air balloon from 127,000 feet on my iPhone, and complaining that the quality isn't great. Right, and this is where we are. It's a first world problem, but it could have gone so wrong. Right, it just could have gone so wrong.
Yeah.
It could have been a landmark for a different reason, right? It could have just been like a 20-foot divot in the middle of the Mojave Desert, but pretty remarkable. There was that one part, I don't know if you watched it, and right when he basically he was going in Canada, he was going about 1,150 kilometers an hour as he was plummeting towards the Earth in this free fall, and you started to see him spinning out of control, and then once he hit a stronger gravitational pull, it actually steadied off, and he started to steady back down, and I thought, oh my God, this guy is like the first words that came out of his mouth were basically garbled, but it was fascinating. I still don't understand why he did it, and I'm not sure what the value of spending 5 years of your life doing that is. But man alive, what an experience. And, if it captures the imagination for some kid out there who's going to be a scientist as a result of this, then he's done his job.
I'm not sure the first thing that he wants when he was finished though is a Red Bull.
No, it's not. I think. I just wonder what he does tomorrow. Like he's been working towards this for 5 years.
All right, back to the news.
All right, we'll jump into our third story. I don't know how we got that, Tuhura. And if you're interested in that, the only place I can find it is if you do a search for Tuhura. That's Tuhura and Tuhura app, and you will find more information about them. All right, our third story, which is not Baumgartner, is Pirq. This company Pirq, which we've talked about, and I like the concept of Pirq, is going to Malaysia. Now, talk about this. First of all, refresh everybody's memory about what Pirq is, and then we're going to talk about why Malaysia.
Pirq is first of all U.S.-based, location-based deal app. Coupons, discounts in restaurants. Targeting the restaurant industry in particular. It's iPhone and Android. The angle that Pirq plays, sort of kind of comparing it to Groupon or something like that is that you still get your kind of 20 to 50% discount off of the bill, but you don't have to buy you don't have to purchase a coupon or anything like that. And so they're trying to play this angle of people buy all that stuff and there's all these unused coupons, and so they're trying to fight that battle of get your discount, help restaurants get people in there at off-peak hours. And basically just drive them in, from this location-based deal app. So that's kind of what the angle that they come at it from. Why are they going into Malaysia?
Yeah.
Who really knows? But my thoughts on it, as I said to you earlier, were really for me, this is about the deal space in the U.S. in particular is just completely jammed with players. There's just way too much of this going on. Companies are failing left, right, and center. Those that are still standing are being bought by Living Social and Groupon. And Pirq's basically saying, look, we got a good offering here. We got a good solution. There's too much competitive battleground going on over here. Let's go to other markets where there's less. And, Malaysia is probably one of those. They say they're going into Singapore right after this because it's also English speaking. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was my only question is why. I mean, the U.S. is such a big place. If you're already based in there and you've already got funding for that, and why Malaysia? So maybe you're right. Maybe they looked at, instead of just saying, listen, we'll do a survey of where people might be interested in this, they're doing a survey of what is an underserved market, and maybe Malaysia is that. They said that Malaysia has a hopping restaurant industry, and it's very competitive in the restaurant space. So anything that a restaurant can do to generate more activity, especially in downtime, I think is worthwhile. But that was my only question: is seems real, seems good, seems smart, but why Malaysia? Maybe that's why. The U.S. is too packed. Hey, you know what? I've got to think that there's, and you said it. There's a lot of acquisitions, a lot of companies that are failing. I got to think that there's a shakeup that happens here. So maybe that they establish themselves a little bit more in Malaysia, Singapore, and Asia, and then when all the dust settles in the U.S. and in Canada, when all these services kind of either merge together or disappear, maybe that's when they come back in en masse inside of the United States. Who knows? But Pirq goes to Malaysia. If you're interested in that, just go to Pirq, pirq.com.my.
There you go.
pirq.com.my.
Pirq.
I like it. I like the idea. Fourth story. We might spend a little bit of time on this, just simply because it is eBay, and eBay had quite a week last week. You know what? This company has, you called it, over a year ago, you called it, has emerged as obviously one of the largest e-commerce players on the planet. And I think that they're finally, as you say, putting these pieces together to be that company that you thought from the get-go that they could be. And this is just one of those things that they're going to be moving into this local deals place and competing with Groupon and Amazon and you name it. But that's where this story starts. But it's so much larger just than competing with Groupon, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that they've done in the last month. New logo, redesign their website. New app called eBay Now. Don't love the name around that, to be honest with you, because it's like, can't we come up with something different? I mean, we already got Groupon now. Like at least have a slightly different. Anyways. So new website, new app, new logo, away you go. The big thing that they've announced here recently, I'll get to the deals piece in a second, is same-day delivery.
Yes.
So now they're going right after Amazon. They're going after all these guys. The idea is here. You're shopping. You're doing your online shopping, and you order your product, and you get it right away, same day online. To your home, right now. I mean. Awesome, right? I mean, who doesn't want that, right? As they say, just find what you want, click it, and then you click bring it. They call it bring it, and I'm like,
this is incredible, right? Like this is there's a quote here from on the new eBay website from the who is he? Pardon me. eBay president David Weinig. I'm going to read this very quickly here as we go through, not the whole story, but just the end, the last paragraph of this, and you can find it on ebayincblog.com. It's the first story. It says the future of commerce is mobile. It's increasingly multi-channel via any connected screen. Consumers want to move seamlessly across devices through any shopping environment: a laptop, a phone, a tablet, or a TV. A store window, kiosk, or fitting room, a shopkeeper or sales associate who knows who you are and what you want. This is how consumers will connect to the things they need and love. Not online or offline, just shopping anytime, anywhere. This is the future of commerce. Welcome to the new eBay. And wow, like transformation that has happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, they get it. I mean, like I said, they're putting all the tools together. They understand the vision. They're spending a lot of time understanding the mind of the consumer shopper, right? I mean, and that's what, every time I see something come out from these guys, first of all, they don't rush into anything, right? They spend a lot of time doing a lot of research and figuring out, that path to purchase and how the consumer, works, and they're addressing it. With each one of these things, it's another piece of the puzzle. And then the other part that I hadn't talked about yet is so they announced this thing called Lifestyle Deals, eBay Lifestyle Deals. This is their competitive piece against Groupon. So this is all about purchasing deals. It's just like Groupon. It's limited run so far. They're only in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and Washington D.C. at the moment. But yeah, they're going right after it. It's same as Google offers, Amazon Local, Groupon. They get it. They want to play in all aspects of this business.
Yeah, they have shied so far away. They're so far away from their auction roots that it is crazy. And they're into marketplaces, they're into mobile, they're into all of these things that really do position this company as a company that is dominant. I think that they are right now. They're kicking Amazon's ass in a lot of these things, but these are two behemoths, and eBay really, man. When they start firing on all cylinders, and that's what I think that they're doing. You've waited a year, Asif, for them to be able to put these pieces together. They've been slowly kind of building them like Lego. This is the first piece of that, but for me, I think just like you, that home delivery piece is the missing link in a lot of these services, and certainly Amazon is trying to do this, and I believe that they'll get it right. I think that eBay is doing it right. Maybe not across the nation, but in certain large urban populated areas, I think that this is going to be something that we're going to start to see as normal now.
Yeah, and just one last comment. Not anything new coming out of eBay, but maybe tying into the next story that we're about to talk about is, remember, eBay also has a technology called Buy with eBay that is a TV technology. So basically, you can be watching TV, and if you see a product that is available in the eBay marketplace, you can click a button and basically, buy that thing while you're watching TV. Like, so you're watching your Yankees, and Ibanez is up to bat, and you see his jersey, and his jersey's up on the eBay marketplace, and you can click a button and buy it right from there.
But can I sell
now send it to you in the same day?
Can I sell my A-Rod jersey at the same time? Like, is that would be okay, right? If I could put it up on an auction.
There you go. Anyhow, so yeah, I mean, it's a company that just gets it. Love it.
Yeah, eBay.
Keep going, boys.
Yeah, very impressed with what these guys are doing, and it's hard. It's hard to shed your legacy, right? It's hard to shed the thing that got you where you were, and you have to be able to do that in order to extend. And I think that this is a perfect example of a company that is pivoting hard, and getting it all right at the same time. Who knows? Some of the acquisitions that they've done may not pan out, but the ones that we're starting to see right now that have been kind of sitting inside of eBay for quite some time and finding a place have emerged with this brand new eBay, the largest e-commerce company I think on the planet. It's pretty impressive. eBay competing with Groupon, but a whole lot more. If you want to check it out, go to ebay.com, as you know, or ebayinc.com, and you will find a brand new eBay. If you haven't gone and visited them, do it. You might be surprised. They understand.
There you go.
All right, our fifth story and last story, Seevibes launching this social TV dashboard. We know this industry is hot, but talk about what these guys are doing and how is this any different from anything else that's out there right now? This fits into a vast majority of companies' offerings. It seems that there's just a whole bunch of people chasing each other doing the same thing. Am I wrong here?
Yeah, I mean, social TV is one of the hottest things right now, on the planet as far as technologies within the marketing ecosystem are concerned. So Seevibes, Montreal-based, TV dashboard, basically trying to be the Nielsen of social for TV. And so the idea here is they built this measurement platform, this dashboard that puts all the feedback around, shows that are being watched, conversations around those shows, measuring the social engagement and the discussion around those shows. Yes, there's a lot of people in this industry. What I like about Seevibes is that they didn't just go and build something because they felt like it was a hot thing and they wanted to go do it. They worked with again, this is a Montreal company, so they worked with the 4 major television networks in Canada and a bunch of the media agencies and try to develop a platform in partnership with them that worked for them. And these are smart guys. When we launched the LBMA in Montreal, a few months ago, and now we got this next event coming up that I talked about at the top of the show. These guys were there. Laurent Maisonneuve, the CEO, was there. We had a good chat, he and I, and so these are smart people. They get it. And while it's becoming a congested space, I think, in a hot market, what I love that they kind of collaborated with the networks and built this in partnership.
this stuff has to be measured. It absolutely has to be measured, and I think that that's where this really, the benefit of this comes in. And if there's anything that we've learned, just even from today, watching this Stratus Red Bull deal, where basically it was streamed on YouTube and 8 million people watched it. 8 million people around the world watched it. That is an audience that cannot be ignored. And I think that, if you were to do it through traditional television, which it was on traditional television, you would have just missed out on these 8 million people. The challenge that I have with a lot of these things, the second screen concept, is that I'm pulling out my iPad while I'm watching television. I'm being completely distracted from the actual show that is in front of me. So what I see right now are these networks trying to fight for the second screen, when really what they should be doing is protecting the first screen. They should be protecting that hour or that half an hour that the show is on their screen, and then they should do things around it, but not detract from it. You know what I love about these? I love about these networks that think, okay, we're going to put the show. So we spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on licensing these shows. We got advertisers coming out there, and what are we going to do? Okay, at the same time, we're going to offer something on an iPad that's going to complement this. And what we want our viewers to do is split their time between the big screen, the television, and the second screen, which is the iPad, the app that we've created. So this is where I get a little confused, is that why split the audience at the same time? You want them dedicated to your advertisers, and if you don't, you're kind of going to piss your advertisers off. So I don't get this.
So I completely agree with what you're saying. From the network or the broadcaster's perspective, I think they should be focusing on that first screen and not trying to split the audience. But this, to get back to the story, the Seevibes platform isn't about that. It's not about one or the other. What all they're trying to do is give the networks a dashboard that aggregates all of the discussion and content that is happening.
Whether they like it or not,
to make that discussion happen or not is a whole different topic. Yeah. But the reality is people are out there on GetGlue checking into shows. They're talking about it on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. And all Seevibes is doing is saying, okay, we're going to gather all that information from all the different inputs out there, and we're going to put it all in a dashboard and give it to you. So as a network, at least you have it all in one place. I still agree with you. Yeah. As a network, I want people focused on the TV show, and not doing the other stuff. I don't spend a lot of time doing second screen stuff while I'm watching TV. I watch TV.
Yeah, well,
and I watch the commercials, by the way.
Nice.
I like those. But anyhow, as far as dashboards are concerned, I'm kind of aggregating the stuff and putting it in one place. This is no different in some respects than what Venue Labs and Moment Feed and all those other guys are doing around the other stuff. It's just that this is around TV. So there you go.
Well, there is a difference here, but folks focusing on the second screen instead of the first screen, it's a tough thing for me to accept. And the way that I look at what is a popular television show, honest to goodness, how I decide how well a show is doing or how a show is not doing or what I should watch, is go to the piratebay.se and look at the top television shows for download and the amount of seeders and the amount of leechers, and you're going to understand what the top shows are, because they mimic what everybody's watching in real life. And that is where you should be getting your information about what you should be watching. That is the biggest compliment, I would say, for any show, if it has if it's a number one show on the Pirate Bay. Isn't that sad? Yeah. All right. Seevibes, if you're interested, just go to seevibes.com, seevibes.com, and you will find some more information. And apparently the X Factor is the number one show in Canada, and then Dancing with the Stars is way behind it, and certainly in sports it's NASCAR and Formula One, and then TMZ and South Park and iCarly. I don't know how they do this, but there are those shows. So go to seevibes.com. Those are the 5 stories. Great stories. 6 if you include Your Business Is Now conference in Hamilton that Asif and Amber Mack were at. My favorite story, by far, Disney augmented reality cakes. My second favorite story, by far, is the transformation that has happened with eBay. What are yours? Did we miss anything this week? Reach out. You can scream at Asif at thelbma.com, or reach out at untether at gmail.com. And we will post your story if there is one that you have that you need to publicize. We'd appreciate it if you would reach out and let us know. So,
and there's never a shortage of good stories out there, but please send them along. I love going through this stuff. I love kind of taking it all in, kind of figuring out what's next. I got already a couple of great stories for next week. Can't wait to talk about them. We love talking about this stuff.
Nice. All right, so you, Asif, speaking of great stories, you sat down, you had an opportunity to sit down with a guy by the name of Joseph Walker. He's the founder of Ozmott. And you got to sit down with him. How was this? What is Ozmott? Let's talk about this before. Let's set this up.
Yeah, I mean, Ozmott is a loyalty, location-based, shopping or mobile offer app focused on loyalty. What's interesting about it, and I'm sure you will hear about this in the interview shortly, but this is all about not just getting great offers based on your location and finding stuff around you, but actually rewarding people for redeeming those offers and earning, sort of a loyalty piece or a rewards program that they call pips built into this, and then you can use those pips to unlock or purchase luxury items that you ordinarily couldn't afford to buy. So it's an interesting solution that they put around here, and here it is from the man himself, Joe Walker. Well, it's that time again where we get to bring on a special guest onto the show, and this week it's one of our newest members at the Location-Based Marketing Association, Ozmott, and we're very pleased today to have Joe Walker, the co-founder and COO of Ozmott LLC. Joe, welcome to This Week in Location-Based Marketing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you on, especially when we get these these new members on the show. It's always fun because you kind of bring a new perspective on where the industry is going. Having kind of not been in it for the last 3 or 4 years, like some of us, but
we're not jaded yet. So
yeah, so that's kind of fun. So why don't we start things off the way we always do? I mean, tell our audience, those listening only, and those watching as well. Who is Ozmott LLC? What are you guys all about?
Okay, Ozmott is a patent-pending mobile shopping platform for iPhone and Android that fulfills 3 user needs whenever you're out shopping using a mobile device: to shop, which is to save money on things you're looking for; to share, which is when you find a great deal, you want to share it with friends and family very quickly; and to indulge, which means once in a while you can purchase something you normally can't afford. And we've taken these 3 desires and built this application to specifically address them in the simplest way we can manage.
Right. Now, you guys you're based in Traverse City, Michigan. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Excellent. And is that a new up and coming hotbed of startups in this space, or?
I would like it to be. We're northern Michigan, pretty much.
You're putting it on the map. Is that it?
Yeah, I want to put it in the map. It's a beautiful place to live. I grew up here, and part of the fun of starting my own company is I could base it anywhere. So I'm basing it here, and my goal is to try and to build a large tech-based company and use it as sort of a seed to get an industry to grow in this area here.
So let's talk about what you just shared. You were talking about shopping, sharing, indulging. Some of these great words that resonate well with the consumer. But why did you build Ozmott? Was there some problem that you saw in the industry where the existing platforms that had been emerging for the last couple of years around location-based mobile offers and deal platforms insufficient, or not doing things in the proper way? Was there a particular issue you were trying to solve?
Well, it was 2 things actually. It was that in terms of looking at the models of some of the daily deal sites and things out there, it just struck us as very easy to imagine a better way to serve both the customer and the merchant. And then we also combined that with an idea that was inspired by my use of another product, Foursquare, where it would be an actual useful tool for the shopper when they're on a shopping expedition. And the sort of the 2 observations we brought together and wound up being the product. So we were looking to fill a gap in the industry where we felt it was being underserved, and we also looked to create sort of a new product in terms of a location-based system.
Okay. So let's jump to the other side now. I mean, talk to me a little bit about the companies that might sign on to use Ozmott, the retailers, restaurant chains, etc., that might be looking to use a platform like yours to engage consumers. How are you helping them as far as building brand equity, loyalty, driving return engagement, all those kinds of things? How does the system work to achieve that?
Well, basically, when you use the app, just a quick walkthrough. When you bring up the app, it locates you using the GPS. It'll tell you what participating stores are immediately around you, and you can look at that store's entry and see all of the exclusive discount offers that are available at the store. Browse, use it while you shop. When we're ready to check out, you would hit the redeem button on that offer, and the discount would be applied at the point of sale. That's shop. Whenever you redeem an offer, that offer is automatically shared with the friends on your friends list within the app. No emails, no push notifications, it's all within the app. And it's automatic. So your friends will fire their apps up and say, oh, hey, I just received this shared offer. Someone bought this. They thought it was great. I can redeem it right now, too, because it's the actual offer. Now, those two actions, redeeming offers and sharing offers with friends, earns you pips, which is our own internal currency. And you get a pip for each friend. So every time, the more friends you have, the more pips you get when you redeem an offer. The balance of these pips is used to pay for Luxe offers, which is a daily deal style, high value, high discount on expensive things, the opportunity to buy something you normally couldn't afford. You use these pips to unlock these kinds of offers, and that's sort of the reward element as well. So what it provides for the user is a useful tool when you shop, and opportunities, again, to kind of get a prize to a certain extent, plus a drive to collect things. For the retail client, and we generally tend towards larger retail chains with their own outlets, it provides a very powerful real-time marketing channel to the user through the location-based services that is with a built-in reward system. It's powered by the user, and it's all working on a commission-based structure so that there's no fee until there's success, and there's very, very little pressure on the margin of the item you're selling, which opens up all sorts of possibilities for different sort of campaigns in terms of what the products are, how long the sales last, where they're going to be sold, things like that.
Cool. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of capability in there, on both sides, both for the consumer user as well as the retailer to kind of leverage a platform that can help drive sales. But the part I really like about it is that sort of social magnification element. You seem to really nail that aspect of things. So well done on that. Last thing I wanted to ask you is talk to us a little bit about kind of the future. Like if you were to project 12 months out and look at where retail is going to be in terms of platforms like this, how do you see Ozmott fitting into this, or in general the industry evolving around that?
Well, brick and mortar is never going to go away no matter what happens with the internet. People love to shop in real life. They always will. So couple that with the fact that every company out there, whether or not they want to, has to have an e-commerce presence, because that's what's expected of them by the consumer. Mm-hmm. There's going to have to be sort of an integration of the real-world shopping experience with the virtual web-based shopping experience, and the way you can bridge that gap is through use of mobile technology, essentially. And in addition to mobile payment efforts, the mobile discounter, the digitalization of coupons, is going to be really the media that drives that sort of thing. And that's where we see ourselves fitting in. Ozmott, we see ourselves fitting in as a consumer-facing tool for the merchant to bridge the gap between the virtual world and the real world. And as for the user as well, because they communicate with friends in the virtual world, and now this is something that is a real-world base. The rewards you get for using the app, maybe someday down the line, the pips you win for playing a game or something along those lines, redeem for real value in the real world. And I think in 12 months from now, I think the shape of how this works will be generally decided by if there's any standard or any favorite means of fulfilling point of sale integration, whether that be for just coupons or coupons and mobile sale, things like that. That'll be kind of the big indicator of what direction we're going in terms of what application is going to be in the mind share of the consumer. And I don't know what that is yet. I don't think anyone does.
It'd be great if we all had crystal balls. Well, anyhow, we really appreciate your time today. Again, for our listening and viewing audience, we've been very privileged to have with us Joe Walker, COO and co-founder of Ozmott LLC. Joe, thanks for joining us on This Week in Location-Based Marketing. Thanks for becoming a part of the Location-Based Marketing Association. We're really glad to have you, and look forward to chatting with you again sometime in the future.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks.
Cheers. All right. Well, that was Joe, and we really appreciate him coming on the show and sharing with us his passion and Ozmott. So thanks for that. All right. Let's get on to some funding.
Funding, and
money.
Wow! Not only that, three fundings, no acquisitions. That's a rarity for us, right?
It is.
All right. The first story we got is a company called FreeSpee. FreeSpee. It's exactly as it Spee, SPEE. These guys do click-to-call analytics, right? And they've raised a little bit of money.
That's right. Yep. So they raised 3.3 million euro. It's about $4.3 million for those that are tracking the exchange. Most of that's coming from a group called Sunstore Capital. They've raised in total 5.2 million euro. So these guys have some cash behind them. Click-to-call advertising and analytics. They're based in London. They've got operations in a bunch of European places: Berlin, Copenhagen, Helsinki. So these guys are all over the place. And click-to-call is, I think is still a growing business. I mean, when we think about local and we think about location-based marketing and search and how all that evolves, that ability to find something and connect with that business right away, from a mobile ad or from a map or a search result makes sense. And so, I completely understand why people are growing and giving money to companies in this space. So there you go. FreeSpee, 3.3 million euro.
3.3 million euro. And you go to FreeSpee, FreeSpee.com if you're interested in finding more information. Second story, this is a company that I had a hard time wrapping my head around because their marketing language is very difficult to understand. It's a company called CrowdOptic. They raised $500,000. I think we spent 30 minutes trying to decipher exactly what they do. And I think that the basis is that it's a shared experience through mobile technology that allows you to see where hotspots are that people are focusing on at that very moment in a venue or in a location. That's the best that we can do. These guys, it's a very interesting technology, and if that's in fact what it does, I'm all for it. I think it's a very cool technology. And these guys raised $500,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a guy named Joe Fisher. He's their CEO. I'm going to reach out to Joe because I think this is a technology. Based on our discussion before the show, it seems really interesting. A lot of big events, big branded events. They've been doing stuff in MetLife Stadium with NASCAR, it's the Sprint Cup. Big, huge events, live events. As best I can understand it as well is, you're at an event, you hold up your phone, it looks at other people who are holding up their phones and gathering photos and video and data, and kind of focuses on where most of the phones are pointed. So if you're watching the performer on stage, and all of a sudden some guy is getting body surfed across on the far right of the thing, and everybody turned their phone over there, that's where the CrowdOptic is going to focus and start to aggregate content from. So it's about content aggregation, pushing content up into the cloud in one place instead of you posting stuff all over the place, I think. But let's get Joe Fisher on, Rob, and see what he has to say about it.
Well, I'm all for that because...
Sorry, John Fisher.
John Fisher. Oh, I'm all for that because, my challenge here is that CrowdOptic mobile technology joins fans into live discussions based on where they point their smartphone cameras. And I think that in essence, it sounds very simple, but I don't understand. There's a great image under the technology banner. If you go to their website, and I'll just quickly pull it up here. where they're talking about, I think it's Obama's inauguration speech, and I'll pull it up. And you're not going to be able to see it very well in the screen if you're looking at this on a small screen. But over here on the top right corner, under number 2, it says, "Join the discussion. 56 others are viewing this also. Would you like to join the discussion?" And my immediate inclination is no, I don't. I don't want to go and speak with 56 people. So I need to understand this technology a little bit more before I can really, really, really dive into it. But it seems pretty cool. And if it is about shared experiences at a venue or an event, not only that, it goes beyond it. If it shows what everybody's focusing on at a particular point in time, and then it aggregates all that information, whether it's video, photos, tweets, texts, Facebook, whatever it is, and it puts it into it so that it actually remains as a shared experience. I am all for this, man. I think that this would be a very cool technology, but I just don't know, because I don't really understand it. It just seems such a simple idea that is made too complicated by language, by English. So.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, let's see if we can get John on to give it to us in layman's terms.
Please, and if anybody out there understands it a little bit more than what we understand it, or if we've got it right, or if we've got it wrong, please let us know. CrowdOptic.com. It's exactly as it sounds. If you are familiar with it, please reach out, untethered@gmail.com or Asif at the LBMA.com, and please enlighten us, because I want to love it. I just don't think I understand it, and that just might be a product of the fact that I'm not so smart.
I wouldn't go there, but anyway.
Silence. Nice.
But hey.
All right, our third and final funding, a company from Japan, a company called Retty. They raised a little over $1 million. These guys, at least we understand what Retty does, don't we?
We do. Described as a social gourmet / restaurant finder site. 1.2 million coming from Gree Ventures, NTT Investment Partners, and Mitsubishi UFJ Capital. Got about 90,000 people on the platform, 90,000 restaurant entries in here. So it's a little bit of Yelp, a little bit of location-based deal stuff, all kind of rolled together. There's a bunch of gourmet review sites already in Japan, Hot Pepper and Guru Navi. And so they're kind of like combining all that stuff and putting it all in one place. So there you go, 1.2 million. If you're in Japan and you're listening to us, let us know. We want to know, are you using Retty? Tell us about it.
Yeah, they don't have an app yet.
They don't. This is a website, mobile web.
Yeah, and I gather that that's probably a good idea, that they've raised a little bit of money to build an app. I think that that's pretty important, especially when it comes to these kinds of things. But this is we see this in North America all the time, tying into your social graph through Facebook and getting friend recommended restaurants, and it's very common.
Here's an idea. Okay, now, if you're still listening, folks, here's an idea. Pirq. Go to Japan. Partner with Retty. Take their data, combine all their reviews, all that stuff with your deal platform. You want to go to new markets? There you go.
There's one ready for you.
Just solved it for you. It's ready.
It's ready for you. So if you're interested in that, just go to retty.me, retty.me. They raised $1.2 million and they're in Japan. This is great. So we've got a totally international funding, 3 funding stories. Europe, we've got the United States, and then we've got Japan. So great job, Asif. Those are the funding news. If your story is not in there, if you raise some money, if you manage to bring some bucks in from somebody else's pocket, you should reach out and let us know. We will post it here, right in there, in our funding stories. We'll draw attention to it. We might make a little fun, but that's okay. It's not meant to hurt. It's meant to help. And we do that every once in a while with some people. So reach out, untethered@gmail.com or asif@thelbma.com. And of course, if you used any of these services, if you're familiar with any of these services, and if you've used CrowdOptic and you understand it, please let us know what it means. Thanks.
Yeah, and on that note, I wanted to, I shared with you earlier in the week, Rob, this little email we got from a listener, and I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to embarrass them or even the company. But a while ago, we covered a product on this show, a new app that was out there, and we slammed it. We said we didn't get it. We weren't very positive about it at all. And we never heard anything back. And then all of a sudden this week, I get a note from this guy, And all it said was, it was on Twitter, very short message. It says, "Hey, love your podcast. Y'all rightly trashed my product last summer. We're listening, pivoting, stay tuned." Come on. I mean, we love it. And that's the thing. Like, the one thing that you'll get from Rob and I is we just tell it like we see it, and and sometimes we're completely wrong, but hopefully more of the time we're bang on and helping anyways. So we appreciate that. Thanks for the feedback.
See, we do it because we love, right? We do it because we don't want to see any failure in this industry. We want to build this industry up. So if there's anything that we can do, if anything that we say, like I'm wrong more often than I'm right. But when we are right, we know we're right, and we know we can help. So, the criticism that we put forward is not meant as a personal criticism. It's like, listen, let's all start pushing this industry in the right direction. Let's all start innovating a little bit deeper in this industry. Let's not all just piggyback on what everybody else is doing. And I think that's the big lesson that we learned here. And if there's any value in this, we'd appreciate hearing, because boy, oh boy, oh boy, we love this space. It's the only reason we do this. We just love it. We want to make sure that it succeeds, and you guys in business succeed as well. That's it. There's no ulterior motive here. There's nothing. We're not getting paid to do this. You're not getting paid to.
We are certainly not getting paid to do this.
And you're not getting paid to listen to this. But you know what? If you take a little bit of the advice or a little bit of the criticism in the right way, the advice can pay, and listening can pay you in the outcome. So hopefully that happens to more than one of you. We'd appreciate hearing from you. Thanks, anonymous user. Yes. All right, we're this close to being finished. We're this close to you being back at the office or wherever you are going, home from the gym. We're here to tell you about this resource of the week, which is this click-to-call, click-to-map driving commerce report.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say a lot about it. We'll put up the link to the article. It's a mobile commerce daily article, driving commerce with click-to-call and click-to-map mobile ads. I think the only comment I want to make about this is whether it's click-to-call or click-to-map, both of these things are absolutely needed, useful. We talked about the funding for FreeSpee, all that kind of stuff. Just do it. If you're a brand out there, you got to be doing click-to-call. You got to be doing click-to-map. This is where the ad dollars need to be going right now, as far as driving traffic to your locations.
Yes.
So good article that kind of lays out the the basics of those technologies. But it's not one or the other. Just do both.
Exactly. It is yes. The answer is yes to this. The answer is yes to this. And regardless, it doesn't matter if you want people to come to your place or not, if you're a restaurant or not, or if you're a retail location or not. We've often talked about the first thing that people should see in a mobile website or a mobile version of your website, and that is typically a way to get to your place of business because they are using it from a mobile device. And if it's not that, it's a way to communicate with you. So, hey, click to call and click to map. Yes, please.
Yes,
please, just do it. Take that advice. Just do it. If you haven't done it yet, which is a staggering amount of people out there, small businesses. I don't know what you found at the Your Business Is Now conference, but what I told you when I was in Thunder Bay doing this session, we're not quite there yet. 0% of the people that were watching this or in the audience actually had a mobile version of their website doing something like click to call or click to map. Right? I don't know what it was like. Did you get a sense of that from Hamilton?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very much the same. I mean, it's I just don't think there's enough of it going on yet, and I think we just need to be doing more, especially click to call. Yeah. For me, that's such a simple thing. If you're appearing in search results, if you're doing SEO, if you're optimizing, whatever you're doing, create simple ways for people to connect with you, to find you, to engage your business. Like, come on, this is not rocket science, people.
No,
Yeah.
but there's context is so important here, and it's mentioned in the article. And I'll give you just a quick example of this. Is that my local newspaper here has a mobile app, obviously, and an iPad app, and all the other apps as usual. And in the middle of this iPhone app, it had this restaurant, which was a pizzeria down in the Byward Market, which is a very touristy place. And when you clicked on it, it did a click to call campaign. So picture yourself, it's like 8:30 in the morning, you're scanning through your iPhone and all the stories, the top stories, and then there's this ad for a pizzeria that you might be interested in. You click it and it's a click to call campaign. That is a fail, right? Don't do that, because it's not in context. 8:30 in the morning, the restaurant isn't even open, and it's probably not the first interaction that you want to have with that thing. So if, for example, and they're not a takeout restaurant, right? So there's a whole bunch of context that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this. If your restaurant is not open at 8:30 in the morning, don't do a click to call, right? Until 11, and be very specific about these things. And then if you're not a pizzeria that does takeout, maybe there's a different way that you want to do this. If you want to just add the word reservation into your ad or something like that. So, don't do click to call at 3 in the morning, because that doesn't make any sense, right?
No, I mean, it's absolutely about context, location, time of day, all those things have to be put together. So
please, just do it.
Anyhow, there you go. Mobile Commerce Daily. The link is up.
Yep.
Check it out.
Right up there. Please check it out. And that's episode number 99 of This Week in Location-Based Marketing. Asif, are you in town this week, or are you gallivanting across the country?
I am sort of in town. I got a quick trip over to Chicago on Friday. Doing some work, not speaking at an event, doing a bit of a workshop for a retailer, big retailer, happens to be based in Chicago. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there's only a few of those, right?
Yeah.
Only a few of those. Well, I tell you, the greatest thing this week for me, Friday night, October 19th, Bruce Springsteen, Scotiabank Place, going to be in there crying like a little girl. Silence again.
Yeah. I don't know.
I hope to see some of you guys.
Rob.
I hope to see some of you guys out there. If you happen to see me there, you know what? It's okay. I embarrass easily, but this is one of those things.
Let's see how many people are using CrowdOptic there.
Yes, please. And just don't take any pictures of me, because there will be tears streaming down my face.
Don't focus all your phones on Rob at the same time.
Please don't. Springsteen is on stage. That is it for this episode. Asif will be back next week with episode number
100.
If you can believe that. And I keep thinking like it's so significant, but it's not even 2 years. Like at 104, it'll be 2 years.
You know what we need, Rob?
What's that?
We need an augmented reality cake.
That's right. If anyone, somebody send it to us, please. Disney, if you're listening.
Anyhow, I'm kidding.
Augmented reality cake. It has been a pleasure bringing you 99 episodes. Asif, I can't wait to finish off our 100th next week. And until then, have a safe week, safe trip to Chicago. And for those of you who are out there listening, watching, wherever you are, thank you guys 99 times over. Really appreciate you guys spending time with us. Asif, have a safe week, man.
Yeah, you too.
See you, everybody.
Cheers.